Welcome on back, guys. Welcome on back to another episode of Beeple Reactions. This is the best channel on YouTube. I know this, you know this. Mr. Beeple is the artist behind the most expensive NFT to have ever been sold at 69 million US dollars. This man, Mr. Beeple, real name Mark Winkelmann. His real name is Mark Winkelmann. He got the same first name as the guy from Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg. So Mr. Beeple has created the most expensive NFT ever sold. And if you know what NFTs are essentially digital art. NFTs are digital art that can be used and as if it's a currency. You can use NFTs to buy stuff. You can use NFTs to sell stuff. You can use NFTs to store cryptocurrency, to store digital values and whatnot. And NFTs are going to be a big part of the future. NFTs are going to be a big part of the internet. Now, if you have not seen this image, you really need to check it out because it's 5,000 individual images combined to make one supreme super image. And if you look individually into each image, you will see why this is the most expensive NFT ever sold. These images are mind-blowing. If you have a look through my channel, you'll see just a small portion of these Beeple images and see what they're all about, basically. Now, why am I wearing a blue bandana and an orange bandana today? Honestly, for views. Listen, I'm not a gangbanger. I'm not gang affiliated. This is strictly for views. This is strictly for the internet. Because I haven't been getting many views recently. I haven't been getting a lot of comments recently. I don't know what's going on, guys. But I know my content is not lacking. I know I've been more entertaining than ever. Algorithm's got something against me. But anyways, into today's video. Today we've got a real interesting image. I've been looking forward to covering this image. And the title of this particular image we are going to be cutting up and dissecting and analysing on this particular day is titled Virtual Human. This image is titled Virtual Human. Now, I think this is one of the most serious titles that we've come across so far. You know, it's not a jokey title, it's not a reference, this is like a straight up title. You know what I'm saying? This is the most serious title I think Beeple has ever given one of his images in terms of what we covered so far. So let's just get straight into it, no wasting time. So we can see this massive, what looks like a massive factory, a massive production site. You know, there's a lot of technology going on, there's a lot of construction works. It certainly must have taken a long time to build this place right here. You know, it looks like if you've ever seen a rocket, what are they called? The landing stations of a rocket. You know, there's a lot of technology that goes into it. There's a lot of expensive equipment. This is a deeply technological environment, perhaps referencing the future, you know, a futuristic technological environment of some sort. We've got two main characters. We've got the small robot and we've got the massive human being. And there's no flesh upon this human being. I think that's the standout component of this image, is that there's no flesh upon the massive human being. You know, it's just pure muscle, just pure meat, you know what I'm saying? Just pure redness. There's no skin, sorry, I said flesh. There's no skin on this human being. It's just pure flesh. And you've got this small green robot who's standing on this platform, looking below and looking towards this human. Now, what is going on in this image? What is going on in this image? And the last thing I want to point out before we go into what is this image trying to show is that the human being, what the human being is stood upon, seems to look like one of those jumping pads from Fortnite. You know, when you play Fortnite, they have those jumping pads which, like, you jump on it and then you're flying with your glider. It looks like the jumping pad on Fortnite. So we have the small robot looking down upon the massive human. And what's weird about this human, besides from the fact that he doesn't have any skin, is what's on his head. What's on his head looks like, have you seen those VR headsets, those virtual reality headsets that people put over their heads? The Oculus Rift. It looks like the Oculus Rift. It looks like a VR headset. So what is going on in this image? What is this image trying to show? I think the meaning of this image is very, very clear. I think it's definitely a reference to the future. Because if you know about virtual reality, if you've heard about Facebook metaverse, the whole metaverse and having your own avatar and traveling and engaging in the metaverse, I think it's quite clear and it's quite obvious that technology is going to have a massive role to play in the future, the near future as well as the distant future, and virtual reality is going to have a massive part to play in the future. And when people think of virtual reality and headsets, they think immediately of gaming and playing video games, but I'm here to tell you it's going to be a lot deeper than just video games. These VR headsets and engaging with virtual reality is going to make its way into business, it's going to make its way into education, it's going to make its way into trading, trading stocks, trading shares, trading cryptocurrencies. And really and truly, the possibilities are endless when it comes to virtual reality, because it is really and truly a virtual reality. It's not a real reality. It's not the real world. It's not the organic world. This is an artificial world, which is amplified by illusions. What makes virtual reality so captivating is the fact that you're witnessing illusions. You're witnessing what is not real, but you feel as if it's real. You can travel to a world in virtual reality that has what's a weird color? It has a green sky. You could travel to reality that has a green sky, and you'd be believing that you're in a world with a green sky. So the possibilities of virtual reality are endless. And this whole Facebook, Facebook metaverse, which, Mark Zuckerberg is trying to impose on the whole world, and the world is being prepared for the arrival of the metaverse. I'm estimating around 2026 is when we're going to start to see this thing really take off. But I think we're going to have to wait until 2030 before we really see the metaverse in action, and we really see what it's all about and how profound it's due to be. And who is inventing all these technologies? Who is inventing VR? Who is inventing these, you've got Neuralinks. Elon Musk is developing a Neuralink, which is a chip that can be inserted into the brain, and it allows you to access the internet from your own brain. And make sure you guys let me know in the comment sections, are you guys in support of this stuff? Do you guys think, hey, this stuff is kind of cool? I can see myself putting a chip into my brain. I can see myself putting a chip into my hand and paying for credit card payments with my hand. Is this something you guys think, you can see yourself getting with, you can see yourself adapting to? Or is this something you're completely against? You're like, hell no, I'm never getting a chip in my hand. I'm never putting a chip in my brain. I don't like the way technology is going. I don't like the impact it's having on the mental health of young people. And I don't like what society is becoming as a collective. And even though the world is becoming a smaller place, and we're becoming more closely knit than ever before, courtesy of the internet, is it really good that's happening? Is it really good what's happening? Because they tell us technology is evolution, they tell us we're evolving, and they tell us life is getting easier for all of us. But is it really? Because I'll tell you one thing, making accounts is not easy. You fill in basic details, and they're telling you, you've made an error, you need to go back, this name is wrong, this address is wrong, this is not a real phone number, oh, you've already used that email address. Making accounts is complicated. Keeping a track of all your accounts is very difficult, and you find yourself like a robot filling in the same details again and again. When you're making an account for Google, you're making an account for YouTube, you're making an account for Facebook, you're filling in the same details again and again and again. Even when you apply for jobs, You're saying your name, your address, your date of birth, your phone number, this person's information, that person's information, and so they're saying technology is making our lives easier, but I really don't think so, because I really don't enjoy filling out all these application forms just to make an account. And somewhere along the future, we're not going to have to do that. If technology carries on going the way it's going and keeps rapidly evolving, there will be a point where we no longer have to make accounts. And it's all going to be done according to like fingerprint and, I don't know, blood type. They've got some crazy plans for the future. If you haven't seen the last video where I spoke about, it was called Crypto Worm. The last video, the title was called Crypto Worm, where I read out a piece of the book called the Crypto Book, specifically the final chapter where it was spoken about, the guy who wrote this book, who is very influential in the world of cryptocurrency. He spoke about where he sees the future going in the next 20 years from 2020, so around the 2040s, 2050s times, how he expected the world to be if we were to embrace cryptocurrency. And some of his assumptions were just out of this world, like literally crazy, but it's definitely a possibility, Seeing the way technology has evolved so quickly over the years, we've gone from, Nokia bricks to smartphones, touchscreen smartphones, to, phones powered by AI, and the way cameras keep developing, the way phones keep developing, the way cars keep developing, the way technology is just always on an upwards. You know what I'm saying? Technology just keeps evolving and evolving. These futuristic things that we've been seeing in films for so long, such as Spider-Man Into the Multiverse, The Matrix, 1984, some of the things we're seeing slowly starting to come true. And if you've been paying attention to, what's that guy called, Andrew Tate, man, he speaks about there's good sides to technology and there's bad sides to technology. And it's causing a lot of stuff. But back to the image at hand. We see this human looking like nothing but flesh. This human has no skin. He has no skin, it's just pure flesh. And who's looking upon this human? There's a robot. So perhaps that's trying to show that when robots look upon humans, they don't really look us, because when we look at a robot, we don't look at them as humans. We don't look at them as actual beings. We look at them as pieces of machinery. So what if when robots look at us, they look at us as if we're also just machinery, as if we're just a living vessel, but they don't see us the way we see ourselves. They certainly do not cherish us the way we cherish ourselves, Perhaps the way humans look at robots as nothing but machinery, they look at us in a similar manner, as if we are also nothing but machinery, and of course the machinery of nature. And that's essentially what the body is, the way the body processes, the way the body functions, the things that go on within the body. The body is like organic machinery, natural machinery, So I guess the same way we are studying robots and studying technology, robots and technology are also studying us. And if you know anything about your data and the accumulation of data, if you know anything about the terms and conditions every time you accept it, if you know anything about your privacy on the internet, you would know these robots are studying us just as much as we are studying them, if not 10 times more, Your phone camera has seen you at your worst, it's seen you in your darkest days, it's seen you in your best of days, it's seen you in the shower, it's seen you in the bathroom. Your phone knows a lot about you, and a lot of this information is being processed by artificial intelligence so that it has a better understanding of the majority of the population based on data and based on privacy exploitation. It has immense knowledge of a lot of people. Facebook has 2 billion active monthly users. TikTok has around 2 billion active monthly users. So literally anyone who's tapped into technology, anyone who's got a smartphone, anyone who makes any type of account on the internet is a part of this data accumulation process. And AI is getting smarter and smarter, more and more knowledgeable about the human race. And that's why marketing is improving. Advertisement back in the days, it was hit or miss. Some people really messed with the advertisements, really thought it was cool, and they sold. Nowadays, marketing is becoming more and more specific, more and more direct. Some of the advertisements I'm seeing, I'm honestly horrified by. Back in the days, there was a certain quality when it came to advertisements. But nowadays, there is no quality limit when it comes to advertisements. You can see any and every type of advertisement nowadays. So I think the main message that this image is trying to show is that the way we perceive robots is perhaps similar to how robots perceive us, as nothing but tools, nothing but machinery, and lifeless entities. And of course, this human has got a VR headset, which signifies how he has been encapsulated by technology, how he has been fully immersed into technology. And his surrounding, the surrounding of this human, he looks like he's in this lab. He's hovering above this launch pad. He's got all this machinery around him, all these gates, all these cranes. It looks like some serious futuristic technology going on. And the world we're living in today, as normal as it may look, it's like we're living in a computer-generated city. The word electricity literally has the word electric city in it. Electricity, electric city. There's more space on the roads for a car than there is for a human being. There's more space on the road for a robotic car than there is for a human being. Like, have you ever thought about that? If your friend lives in a certain area, once you get a certain distance away from him, you can't even see him. He's so small you can barely see him. But the building next to his house, you can be miles away from your area and you can still see the building next to his house. Buildings are way bigger than humans. Skyscrapers are way bigger than humans. Of course, being built using technology. We carry phones in our pocket when we go outside. When you want to withdraw money and take money, you go to an ATM machine and you're dealing with a computer that processes your details, contacts your bank, and gives your money. So on day-to-day life, even on the streets, even in the city, we're dealing with a lot of technology, a lot of electricity, and a lot of robotics. So these robotics and electricity is all just developing, and we're seeing new and new releases, new and new premieres. People are forgetting TikTok. Literally 2 years ago, TikTok was pretty much unknown. No one really knew about TikTok. It was this weird app where little kids used to dance. Now TikTok is absolutely massive. Even your grandma's heard about it. So listen. We are going in a crazy direction right now, and all I want to say is, you get me, take care of your health. Make sure you're taking care of your health. Make sure you're exercising, doing yoga, trying to eat healthy, doing whatever it is you do, because as much as we are immersed into this world of technology, and as much as robotics is due to develop in the future, who knows, we may even reach a point where we have robots doing all the minimum wage jobs for us. Robot taxi drivers. I'm not saying these are all minimum wage jobs, but low paying jobs, I guess, in comparison to high paying jobs. But working as taxi drivers, working as cleaners, working in fast food, working as dishwashers, working as construction workers. We could perhaps have robots doing these jobs and filling in these jobs, and to an extent robots kind of already help out with these jobs. You have machines that wash dishes, you have machines that carry cranes. You have machines that carry, you have cranes, like machines that carry a lot of work and a lot of materials, which is used in a construction site. It's used for construction. You have machinery in factories used to make products, and the humans only exist to help operate this machinery. So to an extent, robots and machinery are already taking over the workforce. They have already been taking over the workforce. So if we were to have robots doing all of these jobs, it wouldn't be too dissimilar to what's already happening today, where you've just got humans who operate this machinery. Rather, it would be robots operating machinery, and robots and machinery are the same thing. So, people are saying robots are going to take over. Robots have already started to take over. Electricity has already started to take over. I don't mean to sound like some movie watcher or some conspiracy theorist, but all I'm going to say is take care of your health. Make sure you're keeping up to date. Make sure you're spending time away from screens, away from computers, away from social media. The maximum. If you're building a business and you have to be on social media, to promote your business and market your services, the maximum I would say is 4 hours. Maximum 4 hours. Absolute maximum. Because if you're spending more than 4 hours a day dealing with these social media platforms, whatever they may be, whether it's Facebook, whether it's Instagram, TikTok, slowly but surely you're going to start losing your mind, because you become detached from the real world, and the real world is far more valuable than the World Wide Web. You know this, I know this. So that's all I have to say about this image. This image here was pretty cool. If you look at this robot, the little green robot, he has a head behind his head. He's got 2 eyes and a massive smiley face, which shows that this is a robot with personality. This is a robot which is able to manage itself with self-control. And yeah, man, the future, I hope you guys are ready for the future. In Arabic, they call it mustaqba, the new mustaqba, the future. And yeah, man, we're all in for a ride, man. We're all in for a crazy ride. And as crazy as this technology gets, don't forget the real world. And on that message, it's been a pleasure, guys. Make sure you like. Make sure you subscribe to the video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. And tune in next time to Beeple Reactions on the Throned Out YouTube page.